What's up guys and welcome. So as you can see, we're all strapped in and the engine's on, so we're going to begin our taxi very shortly. So basically what's happening here is this is the first time I've actually taken my GoPro camera and strapped it to the inside of the cockpit for one of my flying lessons. So that end I just basically want to see how it would turn out, and obviously quick point, one little thing I did forget to do is I've got one of these ATC audio sort of adapters for a GoPro, so you can listen into all the intercom and air traffic and whatnot on the headsets. However, I managed to forget that and leave that at home, so sadly for this we don't have all the voice communications as well, so it's just going to be a roar of engine noise. So this being the first time I've ever tried one of these videos, I've cut out a lot of things, like as you'll see the videos about the skip forward where I pulled in and done my vital actions before takeoff. Yep, so there you go, there's that. So now we're taxiing to the runway and we're going to line up on runway 26 at Popham Airfield and begin our takeoff roll. So as you can see, and as you will see as the video progresses, the weather today wasn't the best, so sadly I couldn't actually get any solo flying done, obviously due to weather limitations, but we managed to get a bit of circuit time done, a good time in the circuits, and we've done a couple of sort of emergency type stuff. So basically the flight instructor would grab the throttle, bring it back to idle and tell me that my engine failed or had lost power, let's say, and therefore I had to make it to the runway. So a couple of things I wasn't expecting to do today, however interesting nonetheless and good fun. So as you can see now we're beginning our takeoff roll. Got the nose off the ground, levelling the nose off, getting some speed, and from there we're going to start our ascent. Once we're happy, about 300 feet, I'll start to take the first stage of flap off, or the only stage of flap that we've currently got on for takeoff, and after about 500 feet I'll start to reduce the power on the throttle, just giving us enough for a good cruise climb. So I think I cut away part of this video, so you'll see some of this now where it will skip in a couple of minutes and it will skip to the landing. That was done completely by fault on my part really, however the next circuit we've got the whole one. So as you can see, flying, all's good. We're about 550 foot now above the QFE height, and that's where the video forward. So from here we're final approach, or short final, on runway 26 at Popham. So we've got two stage of flap, and we're lining up on the centre runway because it's a bit of a weird approach on 26. You've got to come in at a 45-degree angle because of the A303, and you're not allowed to fly over that, and there's a petrol station there as well, therefore that's why you have to come in at the 45. So from there, touchdown, nice and happy with that. Obviously it's a touch and go landing, so I've put the second stage away straight away, back on the power, getting ourselves airborne once again. And from here we'll start to climb. Quick glances at the instruments just to make sure that I'm not going out of the speed range for the first stage of flap. So when I get up to about 300 feet or 300-400 approximately, that's when I'm going to begin to get rid of the last stage of flaps. There it goes. And now we need to, with this whole approach on both ends of the runway, you've got to sort of come in and go out at 45-degree angles because of certain abatement areas, noise abatement areas, or such like the petrol station on the far side. So you see we make a slight turn to the right hand side. And now what we're looking for is, as you can see, the A303 to the left hand side, or you saw it momentarily. Now we start our right hand turn as soon as we get to the train tracks. So from here we're going to follow the train tracks down for probably about a mile and a half, and then we're going to start looking, making sure the runway's clear or the airfield's clear. So on this particular circuit what happened was I get to a certain point and I'm aiming for runway 26 again. However, my flight instructor, what he didn't tell me is he had other plans, so he'll get hold of the throttle at the moment and he'll reduce it all the way back to idle and tell me that my engine's failed and tell me to find somewhere to land. Conveniently, Popham Airfield's got two runways, or from the angle that I'm coming at, we've got 26 and 21. So due to the fact that I got told my engine no longer was producing any power or drive, I then decided to make a right hand turn and line up for 21. And conveniently I was well within a good distance to glide, however I needed to make a side slip to the right hand side just to reduce a bit of altitude, because I I planned it on the sense that I'd rather be too high than too low. Altitude's easy to bleed off, but it's not easy to get back if you don't have an engine, sort of thing, you know. So you'll see that shortly. So we're going to be on our next right hand turn now. This is in a minute. You're going to see the flight instructor reach between his legs to where the throttle on the Ikarus C42 is, and he's going to pull it back to the idle position. So at the moment we're talking about reference marks, so the village for instance being at which is pretty much to our 11 o'clock at the moment, which is a really good reference mark to tell you that you're on the right course for the circuit. So in a minute you're going to see Eric reach between his legs and idle with the throttle. I'm beginning a right hand bank, trying to get ready to land on runway 26, and this is where Eric's about to have another idea. Here he goes. So there we go, now he's telling me my engine's failed. You can hear the throttle come back to idle. Now I've pointed out runway 21 and I'm beginning to make a turn for that now. I'm going to start to get the flaps on momentarily. So here comes the first stage, keep the nose up so the speed will drop. At that point I can get in the range of our second stage of flap. From there, nose comes down, I'll start looking for the runway. So as you can see there, the circuit height of Popham is 800 foot above the QFE, however I'm still quite high for where I want to be. So you can see the little bun line just in front of the runway. I'm quite high for what I want, so I'm going to make a side slip now. So full right hand rudder and left hand aileron will then put me in the side slip, so this will get me to drop a lot of altitude, however maintaining the direction I want to travel. As you can see, I'm going to swing it back in now and line up for the landing. From here it will be another touch and go. So bring it down slowly. It was a nice little glide, obviously we've still not used the engine, and from here we got away. Eric got straight on the second stage of flap for me, so I didn't need to worry about that. And there, throttle back up, and we're going to get airborne. Nose roughly level again just to get some more speed, and we'll start the climb. And from here we're going to basically follow our pattern out over runway 26, or runway 26 even, and we're going to take up that circuit that we'd currently just flown, even though we were on a separate runway at that time. However, the microlights at Popham can take that sharp right hand turn to follow both runways. So that's what we've done. From there, flaps all the way now, looking for the pig silos, because that's where we need to fly over the top just to get rid of the noise abatement areas, or get away from them even. And now we're going to start looking for the railway. We're over 500 foot now, so we can start to think about reducing throttle, if I haven't already. It's all good commentating afterwards. I mean, I know what happened. Now we're looking for that right hand bank where we'll start to get on the downwind leg of the circuit. There we go, so that's me checking the right hand side. As it's a high wind aircraft, I like to tip the wing and make sure there's nothing above me. So we're in our right hand bank. I can't remember what the joke was there, however we've obviously found something funny. There we are, we're following the railway tracks now, straighten up, and then this is now us on the downwind portion. That was Eric joking about the noise abatement areas, how he doesn't like flying over the houses because he doesn't want to get complained about. Okay, so now I'm checking the dead side of the airfield, making sure there's no traffic, and I'm making my radio call. From here we're going to continue to use runway 21 for the remainder of the day, as it was the nicer runway to land on with the rain. So conveniently, Popham ground gave us the go-ahead to keep using 2-1, so that's what we've done, as we were the only aircraft in the circuit at that time. So now we're going to start thinking about making our right-hand turn. So there's me looking for my reference marks, found my reference marks, now I'm going to start my turn. This will be the last landing. From here I edited the video again slightly just to end it. I didn't want to make a massive video just because this was only a test of the GoPro. And to be honest, I think it's actually really good. I'd never thought about mounting my GoPro in the aircraft before, and it just sort of struck me the other night. I was watching some other YouTubers with their particular flying lessons, and they all had GoPros mounted, so I thought I'd have a go. So here we are, we're still on our right hand bank, we're just going to level out now. There's Eric pointing out someone's house again. From here I'm going to start to get my first stage of flap on, and then make a turn for final. When I get on final, I'll then put the second stage on. So put a little bit more power on after we've got the first stage, just to keep it within the flap range, however giving us a bit of power to keep the momentum up. Now we're going to get our right hand bank, line up with runway 21. Throttle comes back, we're going to start to think about putting on that second stage of flaps. Okay, so I completely missed myself, put on both stage of flaps that time, however, there we go, so we're on approach to 2-1 now, and we go for another side slip to the right. And we pulled that one back. Still a little bit high with that one, it wasn't the most ideal, however I could have maintained the side slip a little bit longer, but for whatever reason I didn't. So we'll be a bit further up the runway this time, however the Ikarus is such a light aircraft it stops pretty quickly anyway. And we'll touch down, I'll put the second stage away, so we'll just have the one stage of flap, and I'll cut the video just because all we do is keep the momentum down the end of the runway. And from here we taxi off. We'll give the call to let let popping ground know the runway's vacated, and we proceed to park the aircraft up. So obviously the whole point of this video was just to have a go with the GoPro and see how it turned out, putting it in the cockpit with me. And to be honest, it looks really good, I think, especially for just being able to watch the movements, what I'm doing, just as a more learning opportunity for myself more than anything, just so I can look back over it and have a visual representation when I'm not actually physically flying. So to that end, I think I'll probably keep mounting it to the aircraft, and no doubt I'll keep putting videos on YouTube, but to that end, obviously that's all, nothing further going on. All we do is park it up and tie the aircraft down. So sadly we couldn't do any solo flying because the weather didn't want to let up much, but still a good day's flying and plenty of time on the circuit. Every time you go up it's a learning curve, so always learning new things. So to that, guys, I'll leave it there, and thanks for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.